Hey Zesties, I'm Michelle May and welcome back to my channel, Zesty Girl. So it's been 17 days since I've made a video and I have been in New Zealand with my mum for that long. On my last video I made for you guys, I would never ever have imagined that I would ever have done what I've just done in the last 17 days, ever. It was so spontaneous. So if you want to follow the story, then let's do this. Okay, so let me see if I can give you a nutshell of what was going on if you don't follow their channel. So my mum has dementia, which has got progressively worse in the last few years, especially through COVID. Mum and I are best friends and I'd lost a lot of contact with mum when she lost the ability to communicate via email, text, and that type of thing. So my only contact with her was through my dad and not really one-to-one anymore. So when we were finally allowed to travel again, I jumped on a plane pretty much as soon as we were allowed to travel again, which was April this year. I went over to New Zealand, reconnected with my mum, and thought I had found a way to be able to communicate with her and really reconnect our friendship. So this is what I did, and for pretty much about 3 hours per day for the last 4 months, I have been spending time with her and helping her through music, colouring in, talking, laughing, gossiping, crosswords, dancing, and spending time with her basically through creativity. And this was something that I had dedicated myself to, and it was something I had worked my work and my family around, and it was going great. Unfortunately, my mum had to go into care I would say now about a month ago, and I've always said that that was very complicated. The situation around that was very complicated. I've also said that this is my story and my family's story, and every family goes through this, so we're not exclusive, and it's just our time to go through these hard things that we go through in our life with our parents, and just generally as life throws up things like this. Mum went into care and I lost contact with her mostly because of internet, and we hadn't quite found a way for me to be able to spend time with her. But unfortunately, by the end of her first week, Mum needed to go to hospital. She was okay, but there was a few things that were wrong with her. All of this has been going on, plus my daughter Jessica at the same time was going over to Europe to do ballet for 2 weeks. So I was helping her with that. Of course, I had my work, my family, everything, which is a really busy life anyway. So over the period of the last, I don't know, 4 to 5 weeks, life was extremely hectic. So the video up here talks about Mum going into care and how I felt about that. And then this video talks about the day before I left, how the house was chaos. I had no groceries. I'd been so absorbed with everything that was going on and all the stresses and Mum not being well in care and what was going to happen, that it was really tough. And so my house was out of control. You know, I'd got behind with washing, I'd got behind with everything. Still just trying to throw love at my family and help the boys who had lots going on with school and exams and all that type of thing. So the day after my last video, Jessica was traveling. I dropped Jessica at the airport, and then that day I was basically following up the mum thing because it was sort of not getting much better. About 2 o'clock in the morning of the following day, Jessica finally arrived in Prague, and after 30 something hours of traveling, and it was really stressful getting her from the airport to her accommodation because we just wanted to make sure that she was traveling alone and that she was safe. So we did that as a family. Once that happened, I just fell asleep on the couch. At this stage, Mum was in hospital and things were starting to not look like they were going that well. So at 4 o'clock in the morning, I thought, I need to go to New Zealand. Jessica was safe, everything here was chaos, but I thought, I need to go now. So I looked at air flights for the next morning, and there was one. This is quite a big story. It's like a miracle story, and I just need to have a break before I tell the story. So just let me have a little break. Okay, so I looked up flights and there was a flight for the morning, and I didn't know. It was really expensive, obviously, because it would be like leaving, and I would basically have to pack in about 1 hour and then be at the airport to do I'd have to be at the airport quite a few hours before the flight because there was paperwork to do and that type of thing because it was so last minute. So I thought, I need to go. So because I'd fallen asleep on the couch, I went up to my bedroom. My husband was asleep and I went to wake him up and I thought, I can't wake him up and tell him this crazy idea. So I ran back downstairs, tried to sleep again. Then I woke up again and I thought, no, I've got to do it. So I went upstairs to my husband and I said, I think I need to go to New Zealand. And he said, when? And he said to me, I've been telling you that you need to go. And I said, I know, but I needed to get Jessica safe and so much going on here. He said, if you need to go, you need to go. He said, let's go make that happen. And he said, is there any flights? And I went, sort of. He said, come on, let's go and make that happen. I said, I've got to basically get out of here in half an hour. And he said, well, let's just try. So I went online, I had a quick shower, I don't even know what I threw in a suitcase. The suitcase was like this big. Threw my computer into a backpack with my passport. Then we jumped online to book a ticket. We got right to the end and it said it wasn't going to work. So we didn't know what was going on. We didn't know why it sort of said it was there. And then when we got to the end to pay, it wasn't there. So I was so disappointed. And the problem with traveling to New Zealand is Mum really wasn't going well in hospital. And it was going to take a day for me to get there. So I really didn't want to leave it another day. So my husband said to me, look, jump in the car, let's just go. Let's go out to the airport and see if we can get you on a flight. So I went, wow, okay. So we drove all the way out to the airport, which is quite a long way out, with my little bag that I packed in 20 minutes, still wet hair from the shower. It was just crazy. And we got to the counter and we found out that flight had been cancelled, but all the passengers from that flight had been put onto another flight and there wasn't any seats left. So we asked them if we could go and check with the other airline anyway, and they called through and said, if you run it now, this actually took quite a long time, but we kept pursuing it, kept asking questions, and they realized that we weren't going to go away easily. So they sent us down to the other airline. They phoned up and they said they think they have one ticket. By this stage, to get the paperwork done and everything done in time for that flight was going to be impossible because this flight was earlier. So we ran across the airport and we got the ticket. I just make the story shorter. We got the ticket. I then had to go and do all the paperwork, and because I was so frazzled and I was so tired from the week that I'd had and try to get Jessica to Prague safely, and my brain wouldn't work, and I needed international vaccine certificates and I needed this and had to fill in all this paperwork, which takes about 40 minutes to fill in, and my brain wouldn't work. And you know when I just get so frazzled you can't think anymore? That was happening to me, and I thought, no, come on, breathe and let's get this done. So I did get it done. Went to get the ticket like finalized and it wouldn't work, and then the guy that had originally helped us and I was on my way. So I hadn't told my family I was coming. Oh, I told my sister that I was coming, so she was going to go and transfer me in Auckland, New Zealand, to the domestic flight to fly down to where my mum lives. And then what happened was, because of foot and mouth disease, it's in Indonesia at the moment and the airports are really full on about customs process, as they should be. The queues were miles. There'd been quite a few planes coming in, so I wasn't gonna make my connection. I knew that I needed 10 minutes to get across to the domestic airport, and I knew that I needed half an hour before that to be at the airport. So I was looking at the clock and the queue wasn't moving and there was people everywhere, and I thought, I'm just gonna miss the flight. So I grabbed this guy. This guy was the guy that helps people that need help, was walking down the side queue, and I just grabbed him and I said, please, my mum's in hospital, I just need to get there. And he said, I can't do this, I'll lose my job. And I said, please, I've got this other ticket, look at the flight time. And I said, please, can you do this? And he said, yes. And he said, but just take my lead. So I followed him and he put my paperwork through, and I got all the custom checks done quickly, raced out and I'm texting my sister saying, where are you, where are you? And she's going, here I am. And she's standing there with her arms out. I just ran and grabbed her and hugged her and hugged her, and I was on the final part of the journey. And then when I got to the airport, my dad was there to meet me and he took me straight to the hospital. It was like think it was about 7 o'clock at, maybe it was 6 o'clock at night. Got straight to the hospital to see my mum. So that was on, I think it was the 30th of July. Today is the, I don't know, I think it's the 16th of July. No, it's not. It's not 16th of, no, it's not the 16th of July. It's the 16th of August. And I got home last night. So I was planning on staying a couple of days to see how mum was and to try and help the situation. And I ended up pretty much camping at my mum's bedside for the past, I'd say 12 out of the 15 days full time, doing pretty much 10-hour days at the hospital, one overnighter, and that's where I stayed. That's what I did. Staying with my dad at first, and then I stayed with my sister a bit later on. Tried to sort of help with the situation, but I just sort of camped myself at the hospital with mum. And yeah, and that's where I've been. So over here, when I normally go overseas or do something like this, I normally have, you know, pre-cooked meals and groceries at least, and the house tidy and washing done. And so I just basically left the 3 boys and my husband, and yeah, they were really happy to make it work here while I was over there. And that's where I've been. So a lot has happened, as you can imagine. So much happened in that 15 days, and I don't know, making this video helps me to sort of get myself back to where I'm home and back and ready to, you know, start work again. It's about lunchtime the day after I got home. Funny enough, Jessica has been on the plane since I got home, coming back from Europe, so I'll be picking her up later tonight with my husband. So today really has just been spending time with my children, each of them, and finding out where they're at. I don't know, sitting with them and hugging them and listening. And now I've got to face the house, which they've done such a great job. And my husband said the whole time I was in New Zealand, because I was only supposed to be there a couple of days, as things changed and switched each day, he just said to me, don't come home until you're ready. We'll get by. Just do what you need to do, and don't come home until you're ready, until you have the answers, he said, I really want this for you. And yeah, and that's despite the fact that our life here is really complicated at the moment as well. So yeah, so now I'm home. Yeah, the last 17 days has really changed a lot in me. It's only going to add to my work as a coach, my work with personal development, my work. It's only going to help with my family here, with what I've learned, with what I can share. I've seen so much in this last 17 days. I've done things that I never thought that I could do. I've discovered things about myself that I never knew. It's been huge. It's been huge. My family, when I turned up out of the blue, said, have you got a ticket home, or are you just winging it? And I went, I'm just winging it. And then I just threw myself in 100%. So what's happened in the last 2 weeks, I don't think is important to share. I think the lessons I've learned as a person will be important to share, and I think they'll come up now with where I go from here with my life and my family, which is what I share with you. As far as mum goes, mum is great. Mum's health is great now in hospital. She has dementia. She has late stage dementia, but her health is great, and she's about to start the next stage of her journey as well in a new home, a new care home, which will be happening tomorrow. So that's really, really good news. Really good news. And that's what's been happening. So the next video I expect will be either a grocery haul, because there is not a scrap of food in the house at the moment. I did a online grocery shop for the family with a meal plan last weekend online, and we cooked the last of it last night when I got home. So grocery shopping will definitely be one of the videos coming up. I'm about to do some self-care, some pretty full-on self-care, and I need to do the house. So I'm going to tackle the house first. The family has done an incredible job of keeping everything going, the washing, everything going, but I think it needs the mum to get everything up to scratch, if that makes sense. So will I make this video of that? I think so, because You know, people love to see before and afters, so I might do that. Okay, so thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it the thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. See ya. Bye.